We are so excited this week to have a two-time champion of the API joining us right here on Cash Out with the Coaches, Matt Every. First of all, Matt, thank you for the time. I know this is a busy week normally for you. How are you?
I'm great. It's not that busy. I mean, no pro-am on I don't play in the pro-am on Wednesday, so and they're not allowing fans, so I don't like ticket requests aren't a big deal this week. Like I can just tell them no, I can't do it. So
I had 4 people, Matt, that reached out to me yesterday and they asked me for tickets.
You
I said,
in Orlando?
No, but I work for the PGA TOUR, so they're like, can you? I said I can't even get myself on site. So there you go. So let's jump into it, Matt. Very few people have had the pleasure and the honor of winning this kind of a tournament once, but you've done it twice. What is it about this course, this tournament, that brings out the best in you?
I really don't know the answer to that. It's a if you hear like sawing, I'm in the Callaway truck, so that's what that is.
We don't hear anything.
All right, good. So I think my biggest issue is being present on the golf course for 5 hours a day. Like, just not who I am, like at the core, and I battle it every day. And for some reason, like I noticed it this week too. Like I practice more, I pay attention more on Mondays and Tuesdays to like what I'm working on. I'm kind of the type of guy or player that, I'll get in a groove and find something in my swing on Tuesday, and then I'll wake up the next day and literally forget like what I was working on.
Wow.
I mean, I'll end up figuring it out eventually, but there are plenty of times where it's like, the next week I'll be hitting balls and I'll be like, shut up. Doing that last week, Yeah. I get it.
Hey, Matt, look at this. You recognize this right here?
I
This
do,
shirt?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah. Is that you?
Yeah.
When's the last time you threw a club?
I don't know. It's probably been a while, actually. I haven't been playing good enough to throw them. I only get mad when it matters. It's not like I walk around every day just chucking clubs. Yeah. But there were special circumstances for that throw.
This is your live. This is Live Forever Golf. Live Forever Golf. Go check it out. Nicely. I've got a couple of these here. Let me ask you this, Matt. I've played Bay Hill a few times. There's a lot of dog legs here, right? A lot of dog legs. What is the threshold, the carry distance, do you feel like on the tees that you're playing that gives that player that big advantage where they can really like cut off the dog legs? Is there a number in mind? Because you really have to kind of decide, don't you, if you're going to try to cut it or not, or play it the way that it's laid out?
Yeah, no, you're right. A lot of it depends on the wind direction. But I think like 310, I mean, the guys that are like extra long out here are definitely have like a huge advantage. I mean, 1, the fairway gets wider, like the longer you are. 3, you can carry the water, so that's an advantage. That fairway becomes wider. But also, I actually think this is a second shot golf course. The fairways are generous here. They're pretty wide, and a lot of the holes aren't dry, not a lot, but there's probably like 3 or 4 that aren't even like wood. I mean, you got 5 as an iron off the tee. 11 is you can hit chase like an iron down there if it's firm. 13's an iron. And you can play, and there's a couple other holes where if you wanted to be very conservative, you could, like 10 and 15, you could hit an iron off that tee. Like 15 is a little weird because if it gets firm and you hit it over those bunkers, it doesn't stop and then it rolls in the rough and you're screwed there too. But I think it's, you got to be in the fairway here.
Let me ask you this, because on this show, we spent the entire West Coast swing, Matt, talking about certain players like a Max Homa who plays well on POA in that environment. Now we switch over to the Florida swing. It started a week early with concession last week. But what do you think is the biggest difference for fans at home who don't know when people that know golf like us say West Coast, POA. What is the simplest way to describe the difference between West Coast golf and East Coast Florida golf?
Well, there's usually more elements in Florida, like wind always is a factor in Florida. The one thing I will say about like if you would, this is hard to explain. All right. Most every course we play in Florida is overseeded. So we're not getting like the true, like raw Bermuda rough where it's, there's an art to hitting out of there. If you grew up in it, like there is an advantage to chipping out of Bermuda rough, but this week it's just fucking hay. I mean, it's just overseed that's 4 or 5 inches. So you can probably like, I think maybe too much gets read into that. I think the biggest difference is the greens, obviously, and the difference in the golf. Even though they're overseeded, I believe these are overseeded here. Like they're pretty green for this time of year, and unless they're painted. But well, they could be. I mean, they might be.
They might be.
Dude, let me ask you. Let me ask you about Arnie, Matt. Mm-hmm. You twice now. You have you've won this 2014, 2015, right? Mm-hmm. What do you have a Arnie story for us? Something that was pretty cool when he came up to you, whispered in your ear, and like, "Hey, man, anything you can share with us?"
Yeah, right. Yeah. He was asking me about my grandma. No, I'm kidding. When I won in Forest, so I'm really good buddies with Sam Saunders and for years, and so I knew Mr. Palmer before I won. Not like on if I was walking down the street, he wouldn't be like, "Hey, Matt," but he would. I think I got paired here with Sam early in my career, and I remember he was driving his cart one year, and on number 8, there's a bunker on the right of the green, and he drove it in the bunker during the tournament. It's hilarious. But hey, it's his rule, his course, his rules. But he was very, I know how much he knew it meant to me to win here. Being local, and I probably wasn't the sexiest name for that, but there's plenty of other names on that trophy that are good ones.
But didn't he do a good job? And you'd have to tell us, because I've never been around him in this kind of atmosphere. But you hear people talk about all the time that he made you feel like you were like the most important person standing in front of him at that moment. So even though you joke about the bigger names being on the trophy, but he certainly didn't act that way, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. He knew, he knew who I was, and kind of my background going to University of Florida down the road and growing up in Central Florida. He knew the magnitude, like how special it was for me, and it was very special. I still can't believe I've won here twice. Awesome. And I don't mean like I'm not a good player. I wasn't a good player, but it's just like when you walk into the names on this trophy they're really good. I mean, and it's it's weird. It's like Tiger, Matt Every. There's everyone on there. That's
Mickelson,
so
Els,
cool. Right? Yeah, and many more.
Well, along those lines, and you never know who's going to win. This is the biggest golf betting show in America. Okay, and I know that. No, it truly is. At least in our minds, it is. In our minds, it is. You're right. So we're always trying to pick a winner and try to help people out with the information. So you're out there, you're seeing the players, and if you were picking and you were on the outside looking in like we are, what kind of a player or what couple names do you think people should watch this week?
I mean, you got to be a striker here. It's hard to fake it around here. Like, you'll get exposed. There's so much water in the rough, and then the there's a lot of sand in the bunkers this year too, more than normal. So like fairway bunker play, usually like you could these bunkers, they used to be like perfect. I mean, you'd hit it in them and it was just like the fairway, and now there's so much sand. It's a little sketchy hitting out of them. You know who I think is going to win soon out here is Tyler McCumber.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Tyler McCumber. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He was there
at Riv.
His ceiling is very high. I mean, he is extremely impressive, to watch.
He was right there at Riv.
I don't even think he realizes how good he is. Like, that might be what's holding him back, is he doesn't really know. Like, and there's probably a few other guys out here like that.
You gave everybody a great little snapshot though behind the ropes that we normally don't get to see. So anybody that's watching this right now, if you don't like our picks, take the information that Matt just gave you. Ball strikers, a lot of water, a lot of big numbers, and
stay out of the fairway bunkers.
Exactly right, Matt. We appreciate the time. Oh,
Europeans normally play pretty well here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got Matthew Fitzpatrick on our board today somewhere, I know. So there you go.
I haven't played much of him.
Well, he's playing pretty well right now, so I think he could be a good pick. Matt, good luck this week. We'll be rooting for you. And
thanks, Matt.
You so much, my
man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Guys.
Yep.
Yeah.